Hi everyone, welcome to the Tarot Circle. I'm Ali and it is the 16th of July 2024 in the US and Canada, and it's the 17th of July 2024 here in Hong Kong for me. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted already. Events are ramping up. We've got lots to talk about and we've got lots of things to pull cards on today to get some insights for everybody here. But first of all, before we even talk about that, let me introduce the other members of the Tarot Circle, a Tarot Triangle today. We've got Kaila and we've got Lynn. Ladies, how are you both doing?
Good.
Good.
And you, Ali, besides being tired, everything is good?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'm busy, just like you guys are. I'm busy, but I'm all right. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling positive, expecting the unexpected. But I'm all right. I'm good. So first of all, if you like our content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment if you haven't done already. And we really appreciate your effort, and it really helps us to grow our little channel. Sometimes what we talk about is a little bit shadow banned, so anything that if you can like or share our videos, it really helps us. And we've also got a new Facebook page. It's called the Tarot Circle Community. I'll put the link below. We've also got a Rumble channel as well, so do follow us there. I'll put all the links below. So just to get us all started before we start talking about what we're going to talk about, let's clear the energy, and I'm going to hand over to Kaila and Lynn. Thank you, ladies.
Hello, everyone. Super happy to be with you all today. Now, while preparing for today's show, I was feeling the need for some reason to focus on protection and to bring in white light energy as well as dark blue energy or indigo for our meditation. We have shifted into even more intense astrological alignments, and we have been seeing things heating up on the world stage. So right now, with the possibility of heightened spiritual, emotional, and even physical attacks, we want to focus our energy on the source and ask for his light and protection to be with us, ever present in and around us. As we do this, we visualize white light protection building around yourself and intensifying within. Also take a moment to see indigo or dark blue energy coming from source to you through the top of your head, activating the third eye and filling your entire body. In activating the third eye, we now are able to see beyond illusions and protect our emotional and spiritual energy from anything trying to invade our space. See yourself fully protected and also grounded by asking Mother Earth to help in also grounding your energy. We ask God, our angels and spirit guides, our higher selves, and energy of the highest vibration to remain. Everything else must leave now. Over to you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Kaila. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the Trump assassination attempt. So this happened on Saturday. There's been so much talk about this, about what on earth was happening there. You know, why was this shooter allowed to even get so close? What were your first thoughts, Kaila, when you first heard about this?
Like part of me was quite surprised that it happened,
Mm,
but a part of me was not, because a lot of
mm,
us were seeing some buildup of tension happening and something coming. What it was coming, we were not quite sure, but things are
yeah,
definitely ramping up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because we've been told, you know, the June 15 date, you know, there's going to be
Yes.
something kind of crazy happening.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't anything happening on June 15th that we saw actually on the day, but certainly, yeah, the assassination attempt was quite big.
And
And
lots of small things leading up to it too, right?
like,
Like the banks in China. We're gonna get into those in a little bit,
oh,
but lots of
okay,
little
yeah,
things happening around the world, I think.
yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, and I think so. The first question that we're going to pull on is, what is the purpose, or what was the purpose of the Trump assassination attempt? Because I personally don't believe it was a Secret Service failure. I don't believe um, that they would have not done their job, you know, and made sure that the roofs close to the rally site were not covered and not, you know, not checked out or whatever they do. I just don't believe that at all. And there's a lot of talk in the mainstream media about, you're looking gorgeous today, Lynn.
I just noticed it was all over the place. A little bit of humidity. Sorry.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with big hair. um, and yeah, I think there was a purpose behind this, although some people might say, "Oh, that's crazy to say that," but you know, how much kind of smoke and mirrors were involved here? Let's see. And Kaila's already shuffling. What were your first thoughts, Lynn, when you heard about this assassination attempt?
Actually, I almost hate to say it. I was almost kind of somewhat excited because I knew it was the next step where we
Mm,
needed to go for this big wake up and everything. I was like,
yeah,
game on, let's go.
yeah. Yeah, and I have to say, obviously I was very happy that he wasn't killed.
Right.
Apparently someone was killed in the stands. I'm not sure
Right.
that that is the case.
Yeah, and
Uh,
two injured supposedly too. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I mean, if they are, obviously our hearts go out to their families, but yeah.
yeah, it's so similar to many kind of false flags slash black swan events.
Yep.
Now they could have been patsies and they could have been kind of knocked off, as it were. I mean, I hope that isn't the case. I hope it was, but you know, I think JC and Janine did close-ups of the body that was taken off the stands, and it was just done in a very strange way and not in a way that you would normally take a body out. And it just kind of, there was, my kind of spider senses were like, that doesn't look as it should do. But anyway, um, so yeah, and my first thoughts was that Q post, you know, the shot that was heard around the world or something like that. And it also said in the same Q post, the week to remember, or something like that as well. So yeah, all right. So what was the question in your head as you were pulling the cards, Kaila?
So my question was, what was the real purpose behind this assassination attempt?
Okay. What are your first thoughts on this call?
Well, the hanged man definitely gave me the sense of in the atmosphere, it's about enlightening people
Mm,
and a lot of unknown information with that for of
Yeah.
Swords. So unknown information coming light, drawing attention to something. They've planted seeds with the Seven of Pentacles.
Mm.
And it's so we know part of this looks like it's about shining a light on those secret services and so on. Also certain people who are making lots of comments recently, sort of urging on something to be done about Mr. T, which was very unfortunate. And so that's what I'm getting from the middle row. In the bottom row, I'm seeing there's an ending. So it's asking you to surrender to the process. And I think within our group, we have been sort of coming around to this and realizing in the last few weeks, even in our shows, it's like whatever we're seeing is so there's so many levels to what we're seeing that is almost like if you have to sit back in a detached manner and just observe, because you know, you draw conclusions and then you're hearing more stuff and more things coming to light. So then you're being asked to change, you know, your point of view. So it's like surrendering to the process. Whatever you're seeing is with that Seven of Wands, I'm thinking it's something entirely different than what people are actually saying, or you know what's being portrayed. And the King of Swords, a lot of information coming at you, and you're being asked to take it with a little bit of humor. So at the bottom of the deck, we have Knight of Swords. So came in as unexpected news because we weren't expecting this to happen at a rally. I mean, some people were expecting something else. I think Jason before had this vision and dreams and so on about maybe an airplane or whatever, but this was unexpected. And then with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Two of Cups and the World. So whatever is happening, the Wheel of Fortune looks, hopefully things are turning for the better. And the Two of Cups, there are a lot of contracts and so whether it be soul contracts or whether it be agreements to what's happening. And we've come to the end of a phase and hopefully starting a better one soon with the world.
Yeah.
What are you guys getting?
I agree with all of that, and I think with the Knight of Swords, I mean that's just to me like a white hat operation. I mean, there's been talk that this was a dark hat operation, and then the white hat switched it round.
Which could be the Five of Cups, the disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So they could have acted very nimbly and you know twist it around to their own uses, as it were. But there's no bad cards in there to indicate that it was
Something
created.
malicious. Yeah, for a bad reason.
Yeah. So I definitely feel that it was created for. So you're saying that it was created just to wake people up a little bit, but there's
also with the two of you saying and with the Five of Cups, then you're getting, you know, it's sort of like the white hats intercepting a black hat off. The four of Swords with the King of Swords just below sort of gives that picture too. Unknown information coming to light, like someone possibly giving information from inside of that, you know, who knew what was coming, maybe some sort of attempt. And then the Hanged Man, so that's enlightenment, somebody bringing that to their awareness, and maybe they're using that to then, you know, for whatever purpose, whether it be to show people what was actually going to happen.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing the Hangman as enlightenment for waking us up and
on two levels.
Surrendering a little.
It's two levels.
Probably a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Because there's also talk of outing Joe Biden as well, because just after it happened, on the back channels, it was talked about that Joe Biden had a phone conversation about that he needed to put Trump in the bullseye, and that's on BBC now. So that's outed.
That wasn't a phone call. That was actually on an interview or at one of his little town halls or whatever that he had after the debate.
Okay. So are they trying to implicate Joe Biden in all of this? And as we know, Joe Biden is puppeted. He's not kind of in control of anything, not even his own trousers. Or is it outing the mainstream media as well? Should we pull another card? Should we do a complete new spread on this? Shall I pull on this, as I'm not American? What should we pull on? Should we pull on? Is it implicating kind of? Are they trying to implicate?
Do you want to say who are they outing? Who are they trying to out?
Yeah, because we don't want to ask, is it implicating Biden?
I think
or the
Kaila
mainstream?
could probably just throw a couple more clarifiers down, maybe see what she gets.
Yeah.
And if we're not getting, I would pull a couple more clarifiers.
Okay.
Do you want to ask specifically about the media, or
should we ask about Biden?
You could say, all right, yeah.
Okay.
Are they outing Biden?
Yeah. Are they trying to are they trying to throw him under the bus?
Revelations Tower.
Yeah.
The Empress. And the Page of Cups.
So that could well be a yes. They're throwing him under the bus to get rid of him as a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Are they outing him about the little ones with that Page of Cups?
Definitely revelations coming out from this.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the media, and directly after it was leaked that the media were given a briefing saying to please downplay what happened, right? So we saw some really strange headlines coming out, like saying
and
that
all
Trump
the Democrats were doing it too. You sent me Obama's post
on
it was really Twitter.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Loud
we don't know
noise,
what exactly
startles,
happened.
all kinds of nonsense. So it's on so many levels, things are coming out.
What was Obama's tweet? I didn't see that.
I can't remember the details, but basically he was saying, he was just saying it's a sad day when something like this happens. I can't remember his wording.
Kaila, did you send that to me? Did you send that to me?
I believe I may have sent it to you.
Hold on, I'll look through our feed. That shouldn't be too terribly long.
Yeah, because there was a couple of immediate mainstream stuff. It was like, oh yes, Trump fell to the floor after noises were heard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It was. I mean, that's just
CNN, BBC. All of them were sticking to that storyline. Yeah.
Really silly.
Yeah.
I
think.
Have you still got your pack there? Have you shuffled?
No, I haven't.
Okay, maybe pick a couple more off the top and ask: are they trying to out the mainstream media for this?
10 of Wands, so there's an ending there. Death, transformation, and the Queen of Wands. I would say so. I would say that they're showing that how they overdo things. So I think it's on many levels with the 10 of Wands.
There it is.
I also feel that the news on the back channels and the news on the mainstream is getting closer and closer and closer. What's on the back channels will be appearing in the mainstream like a few days later on some things now. Which
I found Barack's post.
Okay.
It says there's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't know yet exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Big Mike and I are wishing him a quick recovery. I'm sorry, Michelle and I are wishing him a big recovery.
Hey,
sorry, I had to ad lib. You should have seen the comments from the truthers.
Yes. Oh my God.
Under that
they slammed him.
just on the big Mike thing. So I'm kind of doing some review of the skeleton at the moment for my studies, and I'm learning about the clavicle. And the fact that it's different on women
and
as
the
men.
long arms and the shoulders.
And so
The
what
jawbone.
and you
The
can see it on me. Mine kind of come down into a little bit of a V, whereas men's are more straight.
Straight.
And I was looking at big mics the other day, and they're very straight, very straight. I wonder why that is. Anyway, that's an aside.
And her long ass arms go all the way down to her knees, and her big old face, and yeah.
Oh God,
yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Right. So let's ask: will there be another attempt on Trump's life? So, Joe, J Snip has been talking about his dream that he had Trump in the back of the helicopter, and then he wasn't there, and yeah, and I feel like I saw on some channel, some mainstream news, that the King Charles and Queen Camilla had to be hurried off from they were in Jersey in the Channel Islands.
Is that where they were? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they had to be hurried off from this walkabout thing that they were doing. So I feel like they're trying to ramp up the fear factor here, like something else is going to happen.
Well, and just before we started, the police supposedly shot a shooter out in front of the RNC too, just a couple hours ago.
Oh, interesting. Yep. You've also got Trump saying that security needs to be upped for RFK Jr. as well.
Yep.
Even though he's a Democrat, which is kind of interesting, I guess, because of his family ties. So let's pull on, will there be another attempt on Trump's life? Let me pull on this, as I'm not American. Should we give a timeline on this?
What do you want? The next week? 2 weeks?
Yeah,
let's do the next 2 weeks. Let's do yeah, till the end of July.
Yeah.
Because with Meg's predictions and where everybody's charts are and stuff, you know.
Yeah, Lynn, just while I'm doing this, can you talk about kind of any of the astrological kind of transits that are happening that might be indicated in the crazy shit that is going on at the moment?
For people to really want to do that, I would recommend them going to Pam Gregory and or Meg Moonbeam's YouTube channels for sure. Beyond Mystic, Meg's, but the big one, it's not a direct conjunct right now, is Mars and Uranus, but Uranus and Algol, the death, what do they call it? The Death Star. It's a stationary star. Evil. What is it?
Is it the Demon Star?
Demon Star is what she calls it. Yeah, the Demon Star is what she calls it. So, and that's related to beheadings and everything else. And you know, got his ear. And Future Forecasting Group also forecasted an attempt on Trump's life. And I don't think Cliff did, but Carrie Cassidy may have, and I know Penny Kelly, I think in some of her look-sees, was seeing attempts on Trump's life too. So they've been out there. That's why we've been kind of waiting for it almost, because so many people have been seeing it.
And did these guys see multiple attempts, or was it just one?
As far as I know, just one. Joe's dream was 3 different times, which usually means when you have it 3 times, that means it's coming true. There's a signal, typically. But I'm not sure. I don't.
And then Meg recently said she's saying something else, but she's saying that he will be okay.
Yes, that's right. She did say that.
And this is Meg Moonbeam. She's on Beyond Mystic as well.
Yep. And I think that was with her, Janine. No, was that with her and Carrie Cassidy and JC on Saturday?
That was recently. I believe she was on with Janine, and even J Snip joined later.
Oh, was that the one last night then? Okay, or yesterday afternoon? Okay, yep.
It was recent.
Y'all might want to go check that out on Beyond Mystic
Rumble. Yeah.
Well, first of all, in this poll, just look about how many major arcanas we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
definitely
5.
Planning on it, aren't they?
5 in the main spread and 1 in the in the clarifiers.
With a soft yes, with the page.
Definitely a soft yes there. We got the devil was the situation, so I think yes, that is the plan.
It's definitely the plan.
It's going to lead us into something else for sure. Wake up call with that judgment card, enlightenment as well, but ultimately with that 4 of wands in the bottom. That's going to be a bit of a victory card, and that's kind of a mini kind of world card as well. It will be done. Will it be within a couple of weeks with that temperance card there? I mean, that's, you know, a universal
divine timing
card. Yeah, exactly. It will.
Did you ask the cards if it was going to be within the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, your Page of Pentacles is a soft yes, so it may be in the plan.
Yeah. And also the fact that we've got 2 major arcanas in that middle row says to me that's a big fat yes, that is the plan.
It's definitely the plan, but will it carry out? We know, like temperance with the divine timing, anything's possible.
Exactly. And then with the clarifiers, you've got the 7 of swords. I mean, that's a classic strategy card. Chariot, things are gonna go quickly, and we always thought that, you know, it's going to be domino after domino from here on in. It's going to cause people stress with that 9 of swords, but have a look at the bottom of the pack with that 8 of cups. You know, there's going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors. So whatever happens, guys, it ain't all what it seems. And I think that has kind of borne itself out with the recent Trump assassination attempt. You know, things are not all as they seem, but definitely if there's another assassination attempt, it's not the white hats trying to create something, it's the, you know,
this one wasn't the white hats either. It was them, I think, you know,
it was them
stopping
twisting it,
but allowing some of it. And I think that's where we're going back to the Hangman and the enlightenment with the wake up. You know, that's waking even more people up this next attempt, probably.
Yeah, and I think with each of these big events, more and more people are going to go, what just happened? The mainstream said what, you know. Do you see anything different, Kaila?
No, I agree with you guys. Spot on.
Okay. So expect something, but the good thing is I'm not seeing that it's going to be successful.
Right.
I think
Meg's astrology reading says the same, so that's good news for sure.
I think there's going to be a bit of worry that it might be with that 9 of swords there.
Excuse me.
But I don't think that's going to be very long lasting. All right, this is good, and it's not good.
I think with any situation like that, we're always going to have people worrying. So
yeah. I think this is good that it doesn't look like it's going to be a successful attempt. But yeah, so I think it's also good, you know, whenever any crazy stuff like this happens, is to not to jump straight in with any conclusions, you know, to almost see where the dust settles, see what's reported on the back channels and mainstream media, because so much comes out in like the 48 hours afterwards, right? It's just
within a few hours. Oh my God, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I told Kaila, I said, you know what, if we all haven't found each other and gone through the enlightenment and awakening we've been going through over the last couple of years, I said, I'd be a raging fool right now, especially where Uranus and Algol and Mars are, because Algol's in 25 degrees Taurus and it's 24 degrees right now. And my Algol is at 25 degrees Taurus.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness.
I said, I'd be a raging fool right now, probably.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
And I've just been able to sit back, detached, and watch it, kind of giggle at some of the same things, and just go, ooh.
I mean, and on that note, you know, if anyone's just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, because I feel like more crazy stuff is due to happen. I think Cliff High said it perfectly when he was interviewed by JC the other day. He was saying, you know, get out in nature, and if it gets really bad, just hug the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, don't be afraid to hug the floor and
Yeah.
wear your shungite.
wear
There's
some
touches of
shungite.
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Where, you know, do protection rituals.
Mhm.
I think also, I think something that is important to kind of say at this juncture is I don't think that everybody will be personally affected, you know, by the things that will come out. I think certainly in the future, some things will come out, but most things that will happen in the next couple of weeks are going to be what we see on our TV screens. It's not going to be on our doorstep, is it? That's what I feel anyway. So, you know, let's put things into perspective a little bit.
I mean, just some advice, just going further from what Meg and they have been talking about this week. I think for our audience, Meg has been saying due to the astrology, you know, it's a good idea, stay away from crowds, kind of stay close to home, wear some
Yeah.
shungite. She's been saying because of where the planetary positions are right now, she's saying that, you know, there are some instances where physical things could just happen out of the blue. Cliff High has been talking about emotional attacks, and this is why for some reason I kept getting this need for blue, like indigo blue, like dark blue, and you know, connecting to source and keeping that protection around you is very, very important at this time, especially the next 2 weeks or so.
And I think there's a potential for earth events as well. You know, there was 2 earthquakes, one off the coast of Canada, right? I think, and then one off the coast of Philippines, and this was last week, and they didn't really kind of do anything. But do you remember in our last video we kept pulling the Empress as well?
Yes. Mhm.
So I think there's a huge likelihood that there's going to be Earth type events at this time. So yeah, I think staying
And it's
close to home.
hurricane season in the States right now too.
Yeah.
Texas got hit.
Oh,
So.
yeah. I mean, we're heading into typhoon season, and we're due to get one this weekend. I mean, it's pretty crappy rain and stuff here at the moment, but yeah, who knows how that's gonna pan out. But okay, so let's talk about next about, so there's been a couple of things happening in China recently. The Three Gorges Dam apparently broke, although that's not been on the mainstream. And there's been 40 banks that have crashed in China, and I'm not sure whether it's 40 small banks or 40 banks in total. Because I think small banks have been taken over by big banks, as it were, which I think has happened in the US as well, and other kind of global banks. And I know it happened in the UK. So should we pull on first, Kaila? What's the global implications of the Three Gorges Dam breaking? Because of course that's gonna cause flooding downstream for a lot of places in China. And I think it's interesting that I've not seen this on the mainstream media at all. There was talk a couple of years ago that underneath Three Gorges Dam there were tunnels for trafficking of the little ones, and when the dams broke, then that would be kind of outing what was going on there. Have you heard anything different about the Three Gorges Dam breaking? You know, the implications of it in terms of like what that means?
Back in the day, I remember us talking about it being Bitcoin was underneath the Three Gorges Dam.
Something like that.
So that's what I remember about from back in the day.
Okay. Yeah. And I think it's you know, rarely is, I mean, I'm in Hong Kong, so I should hear a little bit more on the mainstream about what's going on in China, but there's nothing on the mainstream about either of these events, which are pretty huge.
Yeah.
Because I do wonder what the implication is for the towns and the villages around the Three Gorges Dam. I don't even know where the hell it is, to be honest. So I don't know which places are going to be most affected. But
I don't know why I'm
yeah,
thinking it's south, but I could be totally wrong.
I don't
I
know.
can't remember
Let me
anymore.
have a little Google search on this on my Google Maps. That's probably going to bring it up. Three Gorges Dam. Here we go. Hubei, China. Okay. Closest place is Yichang. I have no idea. Zhangjiang, which is actually Mandarin for Hong Kong. It's south of Xi'an. It's kind of mid. It's kind of mid China, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the question again in your head, Kyla, remind us.
The global implications for this whatever is happening with the Three Gorges Dam right now. What is the global implication? Is there any underlying, message happening there?
Okay. I mean, and again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas in the main spreads.
Yeah.
One in the clarifiers. What's your first thoughts on pulling this, Kyla?
Definitely a wake-up call with the Judgment card happening there. And what is that wake-up call about? Exactly, we have the Moon card just below. There's an ending here with the 10 of Wands and a slow transformation happening, but I'm not getting details as to what it is. Yeah, there's definitely an ending happening here. What do you guys get from the 10 of Cups? Is it a facade, some sort of facade happening, and there's an ending to a facade?
It could be, because if it really did actually collapse a few years ago.
And I mean, there were reports of this happening last year too, but I'm not sure if it was actually reality, right?
Yeah. Because you can read the 10 of Cups a couple of ways. It can literally be nice and happy, or because in this case it's not very well aspected next to the moon and the 10 of Wands. So I would say, yeah, it's
Well, and
it's not all that
the
looks like.
Yeah, the little kids in that card, and being, we know how many things, tunnels and everything I run into. It could even, it's interesting that we were always told Bitcoin was doing their processing under that dam. There's not a lot of pentacles showing that.
Yeah. And
clarifiers, but
just as I said at the beginning, I was told that it was the processing of little ones in the tunnels underneath there. I really get the feeling with that death card in the bottom that it's going to be a slow change for China, and who's in charge of China, especially with that Emperor card next to it. I mean, obviously nothing is as it seems, I mean, we're always told that China is the big bad wolf, and I haven't thought that for a long time. But yeah, I feel like there's going to be a big change, and the what's on the other side of that change is very close with that 10 of Wands card next to it. What do you get with that 2 of Pentacles in the clarifiers?
So what I'm getting with the 10 of Wands and the Emperor is an ending to the systems and structures, and maybe governmental systems and structures. And as you said, going through a slow transition with the Death card. So is with that 2 of Pentacles, is that like them just balancing things, but it's sooner or later, and maybe very soon, things are just going to fall, and there's an ending here with the world card. So I'm thinking, is this like government? Is this, the systems behind the scenes have been working for the ill will of humanity, so to speak.
Yeah. Can you pull a couple of clarifiers, Kyla, and ask, is China generally, is it on the side of the good or the bad at the moment?
So we have the Queen of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and the Devil.
Make of that as you will.
Half and half, probably like we are in the United States.
Yeah. It looks like a battle's going on there.
Yeah.
And the Queen of Cups, she's surrounded by water, and this is like the three Gorges dam breaking, right? So I think they're under attack right now. There's a new beginning coming, but and this is where the fight is.
The devil's
with
fighting it.
with the devil. Yeah.
And
So they're in the process.
I've heard that China has been trying to hoard gold for a long time with that Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, that could be an indication of financial stuff.
What do you think about Xi? I think Xi is actually a good guy.
Yeah.
Because I think he's been fighting the cabal side of China.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, there's like this so interwoven crazy shit. Lynn, should we pull on what's the implication of those 40 banks crashing in China? I mean,
were they I think I was hearing they were actually maybe swallowed up by the large banks, because the large banks are trying to, it's their last way. I think it's their last way of trying to maintain control. Probably. So.
I wasn't sure whether it was 40 banks affected totally or 40 small banks were absorbed by 40 bigger banks. And I don't know what the implication was for the average man on the street, whether they've been able to get their money, because the video that I saw was people like on the street, you know, chanting to get their money back.
It looked like they weren't able to, didn't it? It was looking like they lost their money, which I don't understand how big bank can come in and take over and people lose their money. That doesn't make any sense, but
no. But maybe that's a short-term pain thing.
Yeah,
no,
could be to wake people up over there. So
yeah.
So how do you want me to phrase this?
What is the global implication for the financial system with the banks crashing in China, with the 40 banks crashing in China? Because as we know, the financial system is held together with sticky back plastic and lollipop sticks at the moment, isn't it? So it's not going to take a lot to bring it crashing down. Have there been any other banks in Canada or America that you've heard of that have been a bit wonky recently, guys? Have you heard of anything like that?
Not that I've heard of. There might have been, though.
And I think it's going to be a matter of time, because the Hong Kong dollar is pegged to the US dollar. But I think there's been talk for many years that they're going to change the pegging to the yuan, the Chinese currency. And I think when that happens, that's going to be a big indication. And they'll probably do that before everything crashes to kind of keep them safe, because I think apparently the yuan is gold backed because it's part of BRICS. That could be an interesting. I mean, it could already be in the background. It could already be pegged to the yuan in the background. Who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows what things are really happening? How's it looking, Lynn? Has silver increased in price recently? I haven't
I
think
think
Have
it's
a
still
look.
up and down.
let's have a look. Because how high does silver have to go before everything goes wonky?
Well, that's just it. I mean, I know there's banks here that are shorted on silver, and if silver goes up, I think
So
it's Chase or BOA that
it's
goes down.
31.44 US dollars per ounce. So that's gone up the last time I looked.
A little bit.
The last time,
Yeah.
the last time I looked, it was below 30.
Okay.
All right. So the question in your head, Lynn, to remind us was what?
What were the global indications? Isn't that what
Yeah.
you asked me?
Yeah.
So
The global implications of the China banks
of
crashing.
the 40 banks that were dissolved or missing.
There's not many pentacles, are there?
No, we do have the world. So new bank probably. It's probably and there's no interesting. There's no devil or death or anything. So it almost makes me wonder. We got the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So is this a white hat operation? There was an agreement of some sort with the Three of Cups. I'm thinking too. There was disappointment, obviously. But they walked away from something, but strength. It's going to be stronger, I think, in the long run.
Yeah.
You got the Ten of Wands again. We've got some of the Page of Cups and Ten of Wands in the world, and the Queen of Swords keep coming up. We've got the Eight of Wands too. I think it may just be all the beginning.
Yeah.
What do you think, girls?
Yeah. And especially with that world card there, I just feel like it was just another step towards a new banking system that's already there, and that's why there's no crazy scary cards there, because it's already done. Could you pull a couple of cards from your top to literally ask that question? Has the financial crash already happened, and is everything all good?
Got the Star card.
Yeah.
Wish fulfillment.
Yeah. And the Five of Wands. So,
Temporary setbacks.
yeah. It's coming. I think it would be coming. Right.
Yeah. Okay. And I think
just for shits and giggles, the Page of Coins. So
okay.
Page of Coins.
Yeah.
It's coming.
So yep.
So I think the key here is that whatever happens in the financial system is, don't worry. It's not unexpected. It's already kind of done.
Well, it's going to be unexpected for a lot of people, and they're not going to understand why they can't get their money if they haven't prepared and been doing. So
yeah, but it will be okay. It will be okay in the end, especially with that strength card there. Right. Let's switch parts of the globe and talk about the UK and Keir Starmer. So since we last did our video, Keir Starmer was elected into the UK government, which apparently he only got like a third of the votes. So it really just kind of highlights how rubbish the UK electoral system is, and yeah. And
I'm sorry, I don't mean to giggle. It just reminds me Joe Biden could hardly get 5 people in circles around his things, but yet he got 80 million votes.
It's just an utter shit show, isn't it?
Everywhere.
And as we talked about before, Keir Starmer and what he's been up to is slightly iffy, to say the least. He was the head of the Crown Prosecution Service, who basically let Jimmy Savile go and let him go on to do more misdemeanors, and we know what Jimmy Savile's misdemeanors were. So he's Keir Starmer continues to out himself as a very strong member of the World Economic Forum. You know, for optics, should we say? I think he's there for a particular purpose, but we'll pull on that in a second. But he's talking about have you got that post at all handy of the things that he wants to do? I can't
I
remember.
have no idea because our tarot
It's
circle has got so
It's
much
in the
stuff now.
BMA group. It's one of the
Oh.
last things I put in the BMA group.
Oh, was
Okay,
it?
let's have a look. So let's talk about what he wants to do.
Let me see if I can find it. Did I put it? No, it's in the tarot circle, sorry.
Yeah. You think you put that there today?
Yeah,
It's just so much going on, isn't
there
there?
it goes.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Alignment
Oh.
with the EU,
Yeah.
migrant allocations from the EU, return of full WHO health control, digital ID, CBDC, net zero on acid.
What does net zero on acid mean?
I
I
don't
was just
know.
going to ask you that. I don't know.
I don't know what that means exactly, but is it that he's putting in all of those
Is he drinking
climate change
Coca-Cola?
stuff?
Net zero.
Net zero on acid. I don't know what that is, but
I don't know.
he's basically a globalist, you know, pushing forward those
Yeah.
like we have taxes coming for,
Yeah.
you know, climate change.
Yeah. So shall we ask about Keir Starmer? Do you want to do just a general overview of why he's in that position? Or do you want to ask a more specific question?
Let's just see what he's about in that position,
Okay.
probably.
Didn't
Kaila,
we do
you
a
got
poll
it.
like this on him before? Like a
We
general poll on him?
we did a pull on what the
Election.
what the future
Okay, what was
will
okay.
be, you know,
Okay.
whoever's
That's
elected.
Yeah,
So,
because Nigel Farrar was actually kind of ahead of everybody, wasn't he?
I
mean, from what we were being told anyway.
yeah, I don't know. It seemed
So-
like that, but you know.
so general look on what he's about. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Isn't his wife Jewish too?
Yes. And that was one of the first things that was said after he
She
got
said,
into
yeah.
power, you know, to obviously cement where his feelings lie on
Alliance.
Israel.
Yeah.
And then literally within like hours he was like, I support Ukraine. I'm like, okay, dude. No surprise there then.
Well, it is the money laundering system back to politicians, right?
Goodness.
Is London, is the UK funneling a lot of money to the UK to the Ukraine
I
too?
think so. I think
Oh.
so. Yeah, I think they're using a lot of money. I think
You
they're
gotta-
also being chemtrailed the shit out of at the moment. I keep
Mm.
hearing that it's really cold, shitty weather, and I think it's probably to get the crops to fail.
Yeah, could be.
But yeah, everyone's depressed as crap there because of the crappy weather at the moment, while the rest of us are heating up nicely.
Sweating our buns off.
Yeah.
There's that page of cups again. Look at that.
Mhm.
The Knight of Swords.
So the question in your head, Kyla, was what?
There's a general poll on him. What is he about? Good or bad?
What's your first thoughts on these cards?
So he came up as interestingly as the 5 of Wands, which is in a conflict or conflict among groups. So I think whatever happened with him definitely came as unexpected news to people with that Knight of Swords. And there's the Tower card, which is Revelations. He sort of came out of nowhere because I think the other guy was looking way better, right? And then he kind of came out of nowhere, and this was upsetting news to everyone. Interesting that we have the Page of Cups, and sometimes this card can be a surprisingly positive outcome. So something positive in the background. And the Queen of Wands is in the outcome of this reading. So is it that it is about waking people up and getting them to see and look past what is actually, being portrayed. And there's the Three of Cups, and we have the High Priestess. What would you say about that one? There's a wake-up call with the Judgment card, but then we have the Six of Wands, which is a victory card. For some reason, I felt like pulling one more card, and we have the Three of Wands, which is going into new territory, and the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords, which is, there's a lot of people worried about this situation, because I think we all had high hopes that something was about to change in the UK. We had lots of signs happening in London with the horses and all these things, and then we get another globalist coming in on the scene, right? So I think the initial pull we had done is behind the scenes. It's about waking people up and getting them to like speak up and do something about it. With the High Priestess there, that's interesting. What are you thinking about that one?
There's still something we're not supposed to know.
And I think it's to do with the party substance with the Three of Cups.
Yeah, with the Three of Cups. Yep.
Because, just like other cards, this can be a nice, happy, celebratory card, but it's not particularly well aspected next to the Tower and the Five of Wands and the High Priestess. And as we know, like most politicians, but especially politicians in the UK, have been very interested in the little ones and doing all sorts with them. So I think that I'm not sure whether that's going to be outed per se with that High Priestess there. I wouldn't say it's going to be outed, but I think that's the underlying thing that's going to kind of out him, if you see what I mean, and what he's been up to in the past, especially with that Judgment. But,
I think with the Five of Wands, he might have been conflicted, and either he was approached by the White Hats or they came in and kind of took him over with the Tower moment. I don't know. You got your little ones with your Page of Cups, which is typically little ones too.
Yeah.
So, but there's still some stuff we don't know. But isn't there talk of him not being there very long too? Isn't that kind of what predictions are being made about him too, or no? There's so many things going on with so many different leaders. I can't keep them all straight.
Yeah. I really think with that Five of Wands that he had to, he had to, or else he had to play. He had to play this part.
Play his role. You want to pull two more clarifiers, Kaila, and see if he capitulated?
Okay. Three of Swords, Knight of Cups, and Four of Pentacles.
So we got the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups,
Three of Swords. He didn't want to, but
I
think he slowly had to come over. I'm thinking because the Knight of Cups is a slow mover, but it took him a little while to come over. Do you think he has anything to do with the financials over there with the Four of Pentacles? I don't know.
Possibly.
Or is there still something undercover? Has he been undercover? Even with the High Priestess and then that Four of Pentacles. I don't know.
Well, this is it. He might. Well, Lynn, that could be it. He might be instrumental in outing all the stuff with the wee ones, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. And again with that,
we have a strategy card, and this is another deck, so I'm just asking again with some clarifiers. We have a strategy card, and we again have the Page of Cups.
God, there's gonna be the little ones have got to be coming out pretty soon. That is like our theme.
Yeah, absolutely. And also with that Tower card in the middle, I think that's for him specifically, but I think that's for the UK generally as well. the peeps there. All right, okay, interesting. Right, we're going to do one last poll before we do Lynn's 2-week poll on how to navigate the rest of July.
Nope. That's not what the question was.
Huh? Oh,
It was
not?
actually on how we could do self-care for ourselves over the next couple of weeks because of everything coming in. Yeah, I changed it up.
Oh, okay. Anyway, before we get there, we'll talk about that in a second. Apparently, there's going to be something else happening, something big. Cliff High's been talking about something that, Cliff High and remote viewers have been talking about something that is 9/11 times 13 in terms of the impact it has on general people. And something that we'll be talking about for months afterwards. So we are expecting something, whether that's multiple events around the world or just one event in one place. You could think of like 9/11 as an example, that everybody was shocked by it, and everybody knew where they were when 9/11 was announced, etc., etc. Now, the sorts of things that have been talked about is certain events in the sky related to UFOs. And well, as many of us know here, UFOs and extraterrestrials and things like that have been living among us for a long time. But this could be a way to kind of out them. Is it going to be real? What's going to happen? Yeah.
We're talking about what Carrie Cassidy was talking
Yeah,
to JC about the other day.
We're talking about
an LA event or something.
Yeah,
she kept calling it.
Yeah, she was saying something there, and then she said that like hundreds of thousands of people might die, or 100,000
A lot of people might die.
might die because of it, because it would be actually real. It wouldn't be like a Project Bluebeam type hologram kind of event. It would be a very real sort of thing. And just for people that don't know, the Project Bluebeam stuff has been talked about for a long time, and as everybody knows, they can do a lot with CGI and holograms and things, so things look like something is going on when actually it's all kind of man-made, and people do it for to amp people up or get people fearful or whatever. So should we ask about what is there going to be something happening? Is there going to be something big happening like that before the end of July? Shall I pull on this, or do you want to pull again, Lynn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So
I've got my 2-week poll. You're good.
Will there be specific events, mainly sky events?
Yeah, sky event involving
sky events.
ETs.
Yeah, I'm not talking just about,
because I think Carrie was thinking they were really going to have real ETs, like the cabal had gotten together with a certain set of them to actually make it look like they really did. Not to say other things, CGI and Bluebeam, wouldn't be brought into the mix, but what she was explaining was something a little more almost Independence Day like with the Will Smith.
Right.
Is kind of what I was getting the impression of, the way she was explaining it to JC.
And so many films are programming,
forecasting.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. The amount of major arcanas we're pulling today is pretty nuts, I have to say.
Did you get the Page of Cups scan?
Well, funnily enough. Oh, you cannot make this shit up, people. Well, you cannot make this shit up. Yeah, so the first one down is the Page of Cups.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a soft yes. We've got the Emperor in the background. I mean, that to me says, that's a white hat kind of op.
Taking it over, maybe even.
Yeah, you've got the Two of Cups. There's definitely, this is planned, it's contracted. The situation is going to look, I think people are just going to be a bit distressed and saddened by this and needing their own time to process whatever's going to happen. But you've got that High Priestess again in the future. You've got the Ace of Cups and you've got the Three of Wands. We're going to be safe with that Three of Wands there. There's going to be emotions happening. I don't think they want to tell us.
No, and I think they've walked away
Priestess.
from some stuff too with that
Yeah.
Eight of Cups, you know, like
Do that.
they might be going back and forth on a few things, but it's going to wake everybody up with that Tower and the Death card, and it's going to be a new beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still some cloaking with the King of Cups too.
Yeah. But the Cups is all emotions, isn't it? And he's a little bit there could be a bunch of different things happening with that King of Cups, but
Kaila, what you thinking?
What do you get with the Seven of Pentacles as the bottom of the deck?
I kind of get like they've sown some seeds. In other words, there are several options there, and they're considering them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's one that they've put off a bit. Maybe the one that pentacle that's not sold as yet is sort of like that Eight of Cups that they've walked away from for now. But there is some secrecy with that High Priestess card, as you mentioned before. So they don't want to quite say. The Page of Cups, I always look at this as yes, it is a soft yes, and we're going off into new territory. But it could be a surprisingly positive outcome in the background. But with those clarifiers, the Tower, the Death card, and the King of Cups, it sort of indicates that yes, it's coming and it's going to be sudden, it's going to be big. There is a slow transformational process happening. King of Cups, something is cloaked, hidden. We're not going to know exactly what it is. It's probably going to come out of nowhere. And so we have the King of Cups and we have the High Priestess. So there is some secrecy around this. I don't think people are going to even understand exactly what happened.
Yeah, and that's exactly what people have been saying. Like, people are going to be talking about it for a long time. It's like, what does this mean? You know, it's not like, did that thing happen? It's like, well, that thing happened, but what does that mean?
I think that's going to be a lot of your people that are just, this is all going to be coming out of nowhere for them, not necessarily people like us. There may be some things that we see that question it, but it's not going to be nearly as bad for, people like us.
Yeah. So, expect the unexpected. Interesting. Shall I pull a couple more on? Is it going to be just one thing, or is it going to be multiple things? Let me just pull a couple. I got the Magician and I got Justice. So I don't know. Does that, and that to me says big things. And then you got the
production.
King of Swords.
What did you ask for the clarifier?
Is it gonna be singular or
I think it's gonna be multiple.
Yeah, I think so too with that. It's not just gonna be like isolated in, I don't know, Miami or something. It's not gonna be like that Miami Mall thing, put it that way.
Do you want to pull a couple more and see if the deaths that Carrie Cassidy was seeing, will it be that high, or will there be? I'm sure there probably will be, but
the first one I pulled was the Five of Cups, so there is going to be a bit of sadness happening. But most people are going to be safe. And we have to surrender to it. I don't get the feeling it will be a huge thing. Yeah. I mean, just like any of this, you don't know what's real. You don't
Right.
know, you know, someone might die or a bunch of people might die, but did they really? You know, it's you know, it's like those other cards, the magician cards. It's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it? Okay, all right. Okay, so Lynn, tell us what your 2
Well,
week
because
call was
we
about.
knew everything, we knew all these energies were coming at us, rather
Yeah.
than how to get by, it was how can we better take care of ourselves? You know, what can we do for ourselves to better prepare us for all these energies and everything coming
Okay.
at us?
And
So,
the
and
lovely
if you interpreted it as how to go through, that's fine. Go ahead. Go with your interpretations. And the butterfly card was the medicine card. What's the totem animal spirit we can use to help us get through these next 2 weeks was butterfly transformations, because we're going to be going through transformations.
right.
So,
And the lovely Barb isn't here today because she's traveling.
she wrote
So
something for us. We can
yeah,
read. Yeah.
can you read that out? So she
Kaila,
said,
did you have anything before we go to Barb's? Because
I
Barb.
prefer we go with Barb's because since
Okay.
she's not here, and then we can
Okay.
just summarize.
yeah.
Okay. I can't have the screen share and do Barb's. So I pinned Barb's message up to the top if someone wants to grab it. That way I can leave the cards up.
Okay. All right. So she said, "Hi everyone and greetings from Italy. Here's my interpretation of Lynn's pool of cards for this week." So defensiveness. This is called ahead of the Trump attempt. Life can be hard, wonderful. We are living in a matrix. It's an up and down deal. Whatever the case may be, it is what it is. Roll with it and move forward. Unfortunately, it may be easier said than done. Find your haven, stay grounded. There's madness everywhere with family, friends, social media, etc. The message we have been getting for a while is stay grounded. Even if people can get on your nerves, charm them with the pug card. It's easier to attract with honey rather than salt. With the hospitality, take time off the wheel. What I mean is, you know what wheel that the gerbil runs around on. So get off that merry-go-round, take time off from the madness that you hear on the news, the rat race, and rest, meditate, go into nature. The butterfly is usually transformation. This is a time where you can dig deep into your soul, find who you are, and become that, if it's positive. Like Trump indicated in the attempt, put that fist up and fight for what your gut tells you is right. The Six of Cups, Four of Wands, Ten of Wands, and Six of Pentacles reconfirms all the above in a positive way. In conclusion, keep your eyes open, be aware, react in a deep, positive, personal way with charm and patience. Take time off from the so-called news, even if it is from truthers, because all of it can be extremely taxing. Grow, transform. If you're not growing, you are stenching. So no matter what, keep growing. In the end, that's what I believe most of us are here to do. She says, I would have done a song and dance, but it didn't play particularly well. So what she's saying is basically this whole charade thing with Trump makes me think of the Steve Miller Band song, Abra, Abracadabra.
Oh, go, Ally, go.
And so yeah, so she's just thinking it's theatre, so just have that you know, feeling of discernment whenever anything crazy happens. And just as we said before, wait hours, wait days before like thinking about actually what is really happening. Does anyone else see anything different in these cards that Barb said? Thank you, Barb, by the way.
Well, for the butterfly, for the energy, the totem animal energy, one of the other things is it's adaptability, and where you can easily move through and not get stuck on a certain way. And I think that's going to be really important, especially over the next couple of weeks with everything that we're going to have being thrown at us. I would say detachment, again, go back out, ground, be with Mother Earth, work on your inner child, work on yourself. When I pulled and asked the questions, I knew the white buffalo lady was going to show the Six of Pentacles. That's healing. That's healing yourself. She's a medicine woman, basically. So you've got to work on yourselves. And I think, to me, yes, the Six of Cups, but seeing the boy and the girl on the unicorn, and it was just go out and have a little fun, just don't get all caught up in everything. Like she said, turn off the news. Go outside in Mother Nature. So find your haven, as that one says. This is a place of wonder waiting just for you.
And that butterfly card reminds me of, again, what Cliff High was saying. He's saying be water at this time, but also float like a butterfly,
Sting like a bee.
Exactly, like Muhammad. Perhaps
Ali.
not sting like a bee, but yeah, just go with whatever's happening and not get into.
That's your adaptability to be able to get out of those stings.
Exactly, absolutely. All right, supers.
Kaila, anything else?
I think you guys said it all. I think the only thing I'm going to add is we have 2 sixes here and we have the 4 of Wands, which sort of indicates that everything is as it should be. And so some of these cards just literally speak for themselves and they flow so nicely into each other. It's literally asking you have a choice. What way are you going to look at it? Are you going to look at it in a negative way, and that's going to affect you? Or you have the choice to choose it to look at it in a positive way, right? If you can't handle it's too much for you, as was said before, just retract a little bit, and seek your own haven out and take care of yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Perfect. Yay. Perfect. All right. Good. Thank you very much, ladies. Yeah, we had some good insights there, I think. And so take care, everyone, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks.
With Barbara.
With Barb, definitely with Barb. And we've got a lovely special guest. Yes, we're so excited for our new special guest. Yes. So we will see you all then. Take care. Bye.
Bye.